Assalamu alaikum. The topic of discussion for today is phonetics versus phonology, and under that we will also discuss phonotactics and rules of pronouncing ra sound in British English and in American English. We will see the comparison of the very sound utterance in the two varieties of English language. Going a little back, taking start with phonetics that we have been doing so far. In order to produce sounds, they use different organs including lips, tongue, teeth, palate, etc. Okay, so phonetic is the term that is used for the description and classification of speech sounds. The way we have been classifying the sounds into consonants, vowels, and under that we had different classes of the vowels and consonants. Particularly how sounds are produced, transmitted and received. The phonetics is all about individual sounds in isolation. And phoneme is the smallest unit in the sound system, and this is how it is represented. T is one of the English phonemes. So various phonetic alphabets, they have been developed to represent the speech sounds in writing. IPA we have been discussing about IPA. Okay. Some of these symbols that are adopted in writing phonemes, they are identical to Roman letters. Like you can see this is a Roman letter and this is B. The way in ABC most of the letters are written, some of them are also taken in the phonemic form as well. So Roman letters are also called Latin alphabet or Latin letters. And please do remember the difference of phonemes and alphabetical letters, or simply if we call them letters. Phonemes are 44 and alphabetical letters are A to Z, capital A, small a, capital Z, small z. So these all are letters and phonemes are totally different. Apart from these Roman symbols, there are certain other symbols. For example, Greek alphabet, such as this is th sound, that is taken from Greek to represent this th sound. Another th sound is v, that is just like dal in Urdu. Okay, so the most widely used phonetic script that we use for phonemes to represent is IPA, that is International Phonetic Alphabet. I have shared a chart with you. According to that, we had in that chart, in the lecture of diphthongs, all the sounds were summarized there. All the English sounds were summarized there. Okay. Coming to phonology, what is phonology? Phonology is actually the broader aspect of phonetics. Phonology is the study of speech sounds when they are around each other, when they surround each other, how they behave then. Certain sounds, they change their behavior. You will see in the rules of R. Okay. So phonology is the study of speech sounds and how they change in specific context. It means that if a sound is in the presence of some other sound, the behavior of the first sound changes. So it differs from phonetics. Phonetics is all about phonemes in isolation. If you see that we have been discussing th sound, b sound, t sound, and then their initial, middle and final position. But how these sounds, when they come together, when consonants or vowels, they come together, when a particular sound, especially you will find it very easy to relate it to the ra sound. Okay, so phonology is about patterns of sounds, especially different patterns of sounds in different languages, or within each language different patterns of sounds in different position in words. This will be explained in the upcoming slides. Phonology actually tells us that which sound patterns or which combination of sounds are allowed in a language to speak in a particular language. So the distinctive accent that many learners of English have, they are due to differences between the phonological system of their language. For example, Balti phonological system is different, Sindhi phonological system is different, Urdu is different, and that's why when you start speaking English from wherever the region you come, your accent actually tells that you are from that very area. Okay, so phonology is actually the broader aspect of phonetics. Sounds in environment, sounds in relation to each other. Okay, so English has some speech sounds that do not exist in other languages. We have also discussed while doing the assignment of differences between Arabic and English language. It is no surprise that when we do not have a sound for that in our language, we definitely feel problem. So this is particularly true for speakers from language families other than Germanic, because English is one of the Germanic languages. So if the language is other than Germanic, the differences are more likely to be problematic. So differences in different languages, we have the comparison of English, Arabic and Urdu, that how the differences in these languages, presence or absence of a phoneme in one language or in the other language, how they help or how they create problem in for the learners in pronunciation. Okay, let's see that one-to-one phonetics versus phonology. Phonetics, it deals with see that we do not have that 10 number of differences or 7 number of differences. That phonetics is that this is not animal cell or a plant cell, that we keep the both cells side by side and see that what is there in plant cell and what is not there in animal cell. These are actually the concepts. So we need to see overall where is the difference. So phonetics deal with the production of speech sound, we have already discussed, and everybody has unconscious knowledge of that. For example, if we are Urdu speakers, or if we are Banti speakers, or if we are Shina speakers, we know the sounds of our mother tongue, we know the sounds of national language. So unconsciously this knowledge is there with us. Why we need to learn phonetics and phonology of some other language, of a foreign language, or of a language that we do not know? Because that language is totally alien for us, totally different for us. So we need to know the sound pattern of that language. So on the other hand, phonology is about patterns of sounds, especially different patterns of sounds in different languages. Okay. Phonotactic constraints, they actually define what sound sequence, which phonemes they can come together and which phonemes they cannot come together in a word. Fine. And what other sound sequence are not possible in a given language. So they also vary from language to language. These constraints are based on an examination of what sequence occur and what sequence do not occur in that language. Okay, this point will be best explained here. Phonotactic is just like the grammar of phonetics. Okay, if we see the consonant cluster means a group of consonants that come together. They can be 2, they can be 3, at times they can be 4, and in few cases we have 5 consonant clusters as well. So consonant cluster, they are actually the group of consonants. Okay, so we are talking about this consonant cluster, that is s and t. It is found at the beginning, middle or end of the word. For example, look at the word steep, st in the beginning, bestow, st in the middle, crust, st in the final position. So this spelling combination is quite our language, the sound system of English language, the phonology of English allows this combination to occur anywhere, in the beginning or in the middle or in the final position. Okay, so if we see another combination, that str also exists in English. For example, the word is strong, for example the word is strange, but this is very unlikely to come in the final position. You will not find this combination in the final position. Okay, and difficult to find in the middle position. Okay, so st is quite common in initial, middle, final. str we can find in the initial position very often, but in final position in English it does not exist that much. But if you look at this consonant cluster, this group of consonants, this is f, t, ra, how you are going to utter it. Phonology of English does not allow this sequence of consonant cluster to occur at any position. Fine. So str example is this, we have strength in the beginning, but ftr is not found in initial position in English or in German, but in Russian it does exist, this combination ftr. So phonology of Russian language allows ftr to occur, and phonology of English and German does not allow this combination of or this consonant cluster to occur at any of the position. So this actually explains the point that different patterns of the sound, it means different combination of the sounds, different consonant cluster. For example, in different languages we have given the example of German, Russian, English, or even in English we have discussed about STR, that STR consonant cluster can come in the beginning, but it is not that much found in initial and final position. So this point is well elaborated with the help of this example. So phonology is just like grammar of the phonetics. Okay, if you look at this is also very interesting example, NG combination. This NG combination is not found, it does not exist in English, but in some other language it does exist. This NG combination can come in the middle position. For example, if you say singing, it can come in the final position. For example, if you say the word king. But this NG combination, you will not find any word in English language that would begin with this very spelling combination or with this very sound. Okay. So this is how phonology, it expands it expands the working or function of phonetics. Out of the individual sounds, now we are moving towards sounds in combination, sounds in relation to each other. Okay. Third point, a given sound has a different function or status in the sound patterns of different languages. That if we talk about glottal stop, what is actually glottal stop? You would have heard people saying So this is actually glottal stop. Okay, let's see, we have the comparison of English and Arabic. If we see Arabic, in Arabic this glottal stop is there, fine, and this glottal stop is a complete different phoneme in the form of this fine. But if we see this glottal stop in English, it is just like nothing, just fine. So it can be a replacement of a sound like t in English. It becomes an allophone of a sound t, but actually it is not a separate sound. So see, phonology of Arabic and phonology of English, how they treat the two, how they treat in two different ways the same sound. Now see, in English the phoneme for this is this, just like question mark without a dot, and in Arabic this manner of articulation is also different. In English it is just but in Arabic you know that it is called harufe halaki. It is from halak. Okay, pharynx, from where we articulated. Okay, so the glottal stop occurs in both English and Arabic. We are here. The glottal stop is not a separate phoneme. It is not. We will not count it in 44 phonemes. This is not counted in English language. Fine. It is just like a allophone. For example, instead we have discussed these. Instead of saying button, we say bar, batter. Okay, so instead of saying bottle, it can be uttered with the glottal stop like ball. So that is ball actually. So this glottal stop is just like and that is replaced for t sound. Fine. It is not a separate phoneme in English, but in Arabic this is. Okay. So in English it functions as a phoneme in numerous other languages, just like in Arabic we have discussed. In English, at the beginning of a word, this glottal stop is just a way of beginning vowels, just like the and does not occur with consonants. In the middle or at the end of a word, glottal stop is one possible pronunciation of this t sound. For this t, we actually replace this pat, not pa, fine. So this is the glottal stop. In Arabic, this is this and that is just like k sound, just is like a t sound. It is totally different, a complete entity. But in English, it is not complete. It is just like a blow of air, just like a just like allophone, or different way of pronouncing t, you can say. Okay, let's see. Now see that rules of pronouncing r in British English or GB is not here for Gilgit-Baltistan, it means Great Britain. Okay, so now we need to see that because of phonology, how this r sound is influenced. Because of the neighboring sounds, what does happen to this r sound? It is and side by side we will see the difference of British English and American English pronunciation of ra as well. The general rule that we have is in British English that is followed in UK, Australia, Caribbean. These are the regions and many more areas where British English is taken as standard. So letter R, if you have in spelling letter R, so it is pronounced, this letter R will be heard like ra when there will be the next sound is vowel. Take any example here. Look at this example of, look at this letter R and after this there is a vowel. So you will pronounce it. For example, garage or garage. Now see the transcription. There is a two possible pronunciation, British English pronunciation of the word. Either it will be garage or it will be garage. In both the cases you can see this ra sound is pronounced. Fine, because after this sound we have a vowel. So when letter R is only pronounced when followed by, followed means after this sound there is a vowel, and if there is no vowel it will not be pronounced in British English. Okay, look at the word grunt. Again this cut is a vowel, so this ra will also be pronounced, and that is why in transcription you can see that phoneme is there. Look at the word sorry. Again after ra there is vowel. Okay, now let's see that how this is ra in the middle, ra in the middle, ra in the middle, ra in the middle, but in these two examples, customer and were, ra comes in the final position. Okay, so when ra comes in a word in the final position, it means that at end of the word, it is in transcription, it is either written in the form of a bracket or it is written in the superscript, small, and it is at the top. Fine. What does this mean? It means that if it is just customer, just if we are just talking about one word, customer or were, then ra will not be pronounced in final. So it will be customer, it will be were, it will not be customer, or it will not be were according to British English. This bracket shows that this R will be pronounced if customer is followed by a word that is also beginning with vowel sound. We will see these examples ahead. So these are two different ways of writing ra in the final position. We can put it in the bracket. Bracket shows that this utterance of ra is dependent on the next sound. Again, if again the next sound is vowel, then it will be pronounced. I hope this point is clear. A little tricky, not that tricky, but just you need to practice it a lot. Okay, so let's see some differences of British English and American English. British is UK, American is US. The word is park, P-A-R-K. According to British English, you will see this p, a and k. There is no ra. That is why its pronunciation is park, British English. But if you see American English, you will find this ra also, and that is park. Fine. Okay. If you see the next example, that is teacher, the final ra. In British English, it is not pronounced. But that is why it is also in bracket, that according to the next sound, we will see that it will be pronounced or not. But in American English, you will clearly hear this ra. So this is teacher, but in British that is teacher. Okay, let's see another example, that is unicorn. In unicorn, you see here ra, fine, and after ra there is consonant. In after ra park also there is consonant. It is not a vowel. That's why we have dropped this ra here. So in this transcription, you will not find any ra sound the way you have seen here. So according to British English, it will be unicorn, and according to American English, it will be unicorn. R will be heard and spoken. Okay. Now look at this word, that is chandelier, fanus. So in this chandelier, again you see this ra superscript. It means that if the next word begins with a vowel, then it will be pronounced, otherwise it will not. But in American you will find this R chandelier, so that R will be there in American. So Americans, wherever they find R, they pronounce it, no matter it is in initial, middle, final, or it is followed by vowel or consonant. But in British English they see that if the next sound is vowel, then they pronounce, and if the next sound is not vowel, then it is not pronounced. Now see that in these examples the next sound was vowel, that's why it is pronounced. Okay, so another rule is linking R. Now what is linking means? It links. Let's see how. So far we have discussed the example of teacher, that if the word is just in isolation we see it, so this is teacher, there is no R sound, fine. But if teacher, the word teacher is followed by a word that begins with a vowel sound, then it will be pronounced. Now see that teacher is teacher of, it means of, it is not of, that is of. So this is the linking R, because it is linking this word teacher with the next vowel sound, so that is teacher of sons. So this is how it is transcribed: his, the new teacher of science. So instead of saying teacher of, it becomes teacher of. This R becomes the linking, that is why it is linking. This final R that joins one word with the next is called a linking R. Fine, because it comes in the final position and it is joining it. If you see here, teacher is, so this is also vowel sound, so it can also be teacher is. That is linking R. Linking means linking the last sound of the word with the next sound of the first sound of the next word. Okay. So the rule for silent R works in connected speech. When you speak in flow, native speakers I am talking about. Okay, so that actually works. For example, look at this: car engine, car engine. So if you see, simply look at the word car. But if in connected speech the next word is engine, so it will become car engine, car engine. So you will hear that R in the utterance. Okay, so in Great Britain English or in British English, speakers even add R where it isn't written to join words together, known as intrusive R. Okay, let's see what's that. Other than intrusive, the word very intrusive means you put something forcefully, actually it is not there. Okay, so in the next slide, intrusive R. Remember it from the word intrusive, that it comes at the place where actually there is no place for that. It again depends on some of the vowel sounds. In British English what happens that words ending in R sometimes pronounce it linking, and sometimes they don't pronounce it. So from a British point of view, from a native's point of view, if any word that ends in schwa or ear or a or o, for example, see here, see the word low, it is ending in o sound, media ending in schwa sound. Fine, these examples we are talking about, that if any word ends in any of these non-high vowels, and when such a word is closely followed by another word beginning in a vowel sound. A word ends in a vowel, these vowels, and the next word also begins with the vowel sound. So what do natives do? They insert a R there for the sake of fluency, for the sake of connectivity. So that is very natural for them, but for non-native speakers that becomes a little troublesome and problematic. So that it is only natural that sometimes they use a linking R in the long place. So we can call that intrusive R, and it happens a lot in British English. Okay, look at this example: Africa and America. So Africa and American. So Africa, this is ending in schwa sound and it is joining with R. This is intrusive. Intrusive means that it has been inserted, it was not there. Okay. Some other examples are law and order, law and order. Fine. So this R is inserted. This is a rule. We cannot do anything with that because this is the rule, and the native speakers, they simply use it in flow. If you see media attention, that is media attention. So again they have inserted this ra here. Same is the case with supernova in the sky. So these are the factors. This is actually one of the factors which Mars are listening, which is one of the factor for weak listening, which is one of the factors for not understanding what they actually speak. Okay, identifying these intrusive R's. This sound is actually unfamiliar, and the intrusive ra is unusual for English speakers like us who do not use it. Fine, because for us we don't know these rules, we are not accustomed to these utterances by birth, so they are difficult for us. So if you are not a native English speaker, like we are not native English speaker, we are foreign learners, so this particular sound might seem strange, and because of this we can face difficulties in listening comprehension, in understanding listening. Okay, so ra in English accent, rhotic versus non-rhotic. Okay, let's see what is rhotic versus non-rhotic. Linguists, they commonly make distinctions between rhotic and non-rhotic dialects or accents. Okay, what is rhotic? Rhotic speakers, they pronounce ra in words. For example, Indian speakers, Urdu speakers, we have this rhoticity. It means that wherever we find letter R, we will pronounce it. That's why this is park for us, this is large for us. So that is rhotic. And some are non-rhotic. Non-rhotic are those speakers who do not pronounce ra, they drop it depending upon the situation. The vast majority of native English speakers worldwide pronounce every written ra, including most speakers in America, Canada. These are the places where this ra is pronounced, so they are rhotic. These are known as rhotic speakers. English accents that follow the silent ra rule are known as non-rhotic. It means that ra is not pronounced. Non-rhotic means no ra is pronounced. And these non-rhotic regions are actually Wales, Australia, and these regions which are already mentioned here. Okay, so not all accents in England are non-rhotic. In the West Country, a large number of speakers, they pronounce these R's. Since most native speakers of English worldwide are rhotic, and rhoticity does not tend to cause any problem. If you say park or if you say park, so it does not create much problem as far as the meaning of the word is concerned. But definitely it creates problem for the non-native speakers like India, like us. If I take the example of Pakistani speakers of English, it creates problem for because everybody does not know this rule, and they would not understand that which word we are referring to. But if you see the comprehension, park and park, they both have the same meaning. Okay, it does not create a new word. So standard American English always pronounces this ra, whether or not followed by a vowel. So wherever they find R, they will pronounce it Americans. But some local dialects follow the British rule and only pronounce it when followed by a vowel. So exceptions are always there. If in America some people they pronounce it like according to British rule. In Britain there are certain people who pronounce it like American rule. So exceptions are always there. Okay, so conclusively we can say that we can find American people following the British rule for the ra and British people following the American rule. Remember that it is not the matter of something right or something wrong. It is the matter of standard or substandard pronunciation of words. Both are the varieties of English language and they are taken as standard English varieties. Being the former colony of Britain, British English was more in use in Pakistan, but with American invasion in every field of life, so there is invasion of American pronunciation also. That's why you will find differences in pronunciation. But whatever you know, try to use any of these two standards. Otherwise, a plethora of pronunciations would be found and they would be substandard. Okay, so if being learner, we want to learn, we need to do a lot of practice. We need to apply these rules by reading, by speaking, and we need to listen to the related material on the television, so that our this comprehension of rule can be improved. So this is how the phonology of English language influences utterance of ra in different positions. So that is because of phonology. Sometimes r is pronounced, sometimes r is not pronounced, just because of phonology of the language, that how the sound patterns they need to behave in the presence of consonant sound, or in the presence of vowel sound, or in the beginning position, or in the middle position, or in the final position. Because ra, according to British English, does not have sound in the final. So the word is not father, that is father. The word is not sister, it is sister. So there are many more examples. I hope a little part of phonology would be clear. Thank you so much.